God says to you in this very moment, as your heart is reading and your eyes are being guided here, that this is not an accident, this is not coincidence, this is not just a random collection of words, but this is the urgent whisper of eternity reaching into your life. God is trying to reach you because so many times before you closed the window, you ignored the knocking, you pushed away the gentle voice, and you thought perhaps you would have more time. But now God says this is an emergency, because what is being prepared for you is greater than you can imagine, and it is tied to something you never thought would be connected to your destiny. A millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you, not because of vanity, not because of chance, not because of worldly curiosity, but because divine alignment is at work. Heaven has shifted its gaze toward you, and this person, whose wealth and influence can move mountains on the earth, has been spiritually stirred to notice you. They are shocked by what they have seen, and they are standing in awe because when they opened the divine book written about you, when their eyes fell upon what was hidden, they realized you are not ordinary, you are not forgotten, you are not invisible, you are chosen. And God says, do not ignore this. Do not think it small. Do not brush it aside as if it were nothing. Because there is a fire that has been lit in the heavens, and it is burning its way through obstacles, through lies, through betrayals, through disappointments, and it is clearing a way for you. The angels are watching, and Archangel Michael himself has been dispatched to guard you, to warn you, to fight for you, to ensure that what God has written for you will not be stolen, delayed, or corrupted. But you must listen. You must not scroll away. You must not turn your heart cold. For God says, this is the hour where doors that were locked for years are about to swing open, and people who once ignored your existence will now marvel and whisper your name with trembling lips. The millionaire who has taken interest in you is not someone you expected. They are not someone you have spoken to or imagined would ever come across your path. Yet God says, in the hidden chambers of their soul, in the silence of their wealth, in the moments when they felt empty despite having everything, they cried out. And in their cry, God connected them to your destiny. It shocked them when your presence entered their life. It shocked them when your image, your name, your spirit, was placed before their eyes. It shocked them because they thought they were the one with all the abundance, but suddenly they realized they were the one lacking what you carry. You hold a divine treasure that money cannot buy, influence cannot secure, and power cannot touch. And God says, they are humbled by what they see in you. This is why God is sending this urgent message, because the enemy has tried countless times to keep you blinded, to make you believe you are small, to convince you that nothing special could ever happen for you. But God says, I am exposing the lie. I am tearing down the veil. I am placing you in front of eyes that can change the course of your life in an instant. But you must understand, this is not about money, this is not about glamour, this is not about fame. This is about destiny. This is about covenant. This is about the fulfillment of promises that were made to your soul before you were even born. Archangel Michael is sounding the alarm. His voice thunders even now into your atmosphere. This is not a joke. Do not ignore it. Do not delay. Do not think you have more time. The message is now, the urgency is real, the miracle is unfolding even as you read. And the reason Michael is so insistent is because heaven knows the resistance you have faced. Heaven knows the betrayals you endured when people you trusted turned against you. Heaven knows the tears you wept in silence when you thought no one saw. Heaven knows the nights you cried out, "Why me, God? Why this suffering? Why this delay?" And now, because of that persistence, because of that faith that refused to die, because you still lifted your eyes to the heavens even when your heart was broken, God says, "Now I move. Now I respond. Now I send not just angels but divine connections into your path that will stun you." This millionaire is not here to take from you. They are not here to use you. They are here to lift you. They are here to honor you. They are here to become a vessel of God's surprising abundance in your life. And yes, they are shocked by you. They are shocked by what they have discovered. When they first saw your face, when they first heard your voice, when they first came across your presence, something stirred inside of them that no transaction, no contract, no business empire had ever stirred. They saw light. They saw destiny. They saw the hand of God. And they said within themselves, "How can this be? How can this person, overlooked by so many, carry such weight in the Spirit?" And God whispered to them, "Because I have hidden my jewels in secret places, and now I reveal them." You are one of those jewels. God is urging you now, urgently, because this connection is not casual, it is timed. Heaven has set the clock. The angels are counting the minutes. There is a window of divine opportunity that has opened, and if you miss it, the enemy will rejoice. That is why this message comes with such fire, with such urgency, with such trembling in the Spirit. God says, do not miss this. Do not let doubt choke it. Do not let fear blind you. Do not let your past convince you that you are unworthy. You are worthy because I have called you worthy. You are chosen because I have chosen you. And what I open, no man can shut. The millionaire's shock will turn into pursuit. Their pursuit will turn into partnership. Their partnership will turn into elevation. And their elevation will be the platform upon which God shows off His glory in your life. You will not bow to them, they will honor what is in you. They will recognize that their wealth is powerless without the blessing you carry. And God says, you will see with your own eyes how the last will be made first, how the forgotten will be remembered, how the ignored will be sought after. But hear this, the enemy will try to whisper lies even now. The enemy will say, this cannot be real. This is just fantasy. This is too much for someone like you. But God says, whose report will you believe? Will you believe the report of lack, of failure, of shame? Or will you believe my report that says you are chosen, you are favored, you are lifted, you are blessed? The choice is before you. This message is before you. And Michael himself is standing with his sword drawn, saying, decide now. Open your heart now. Receive now. Every prayer you prayed, every seed you sowed, every tear you released has been stored up in heaven. And now the storehouse is opening. Now the abundance is flowing. Now the millionaire's interest is not just curiosity, it is covenant alignment. You will see their shock turn into awe, their awe turn into action, their action turn into testimony. And the testimony will not be about them, but about what God did through them for you. God says, I am rewriting your story. The page is turning. The chapter is closing on rejection, on poverty, on delay, on betrayal. A new chapter begins, and it begins with sudden interest, sudden alignment, sudden breakthrough. It begins with the impossible becoming possible. It begins with a miracle so profound that even those who doubted you will cover their mouths in silence, unable to speak against what they see happening in your life. Do not be afraid. Do not shrink back. Do not question why. Simply say yes. Simply open. Simply believe. Because God says, this is not just about you. This is about generations. This is about your bloodline. This is about healing what was broken before you, so that those who come after you will walk in freedom, in abundance, in light. The millionaire is only one piece of the puzzle, one instrument in the orchestra, one vessel among many that heaven is sending. But their role is crucial, and their interest is divine. God says, take courage. Take hope. Take the message seriously. Do not let the enemy steal it from your heart. Do not let distraction rob you. You are standing in the hour of divine visitation, and if you embrace it, you will never be the same. God says this is not an ordinary moment, this is not something you can delay, this is not something you can put aside for later because the clock of heaven is moving faster than the clock of earth, and right now the divine whispers are breaking through the silence around you. God says you are being called, not casually, not softly, but with an urgency that shakes the heavens. This is why you felt restless today, why something inside you would not allow you to ignore this message, why your spirit is trembling with both curiosity and hesitation. God says you have been ignoring signs, you have walked past messages written for you, you have closed your eyes when heaven was trying to open them, but this one cannot be ignored. God says it is an emergency. God says the doors of abundance are cracking open in ways you never imagined, but the shocking truth is that someone, yes, a millionaire, someone with wealth beyond what you have known, has taken sudden interest in you. Their spirit was stirred, their heart was shaken, their mind was struck by your presence in a way they cannot explain. God says they are shocked, utterly shocked, after what they saw, and they are about to move in a way that will alter your life forever. God says do not treat this as ordinary, because it is not. Do not think this is a coincidence, because it isn't. This was orchestrated by divine timing, by invisible hands, by angels standing watch over your life who whispered into the ear of someone you never met but who carries the key to a future you didn't know was already written with your name. God says this millionaire was not searching for you, they were not looking for someone, yet God placed your spirit before them like a flame in the night, like a star that cannot be ignored. They tried to turn away, they tried to reason with themselves, but something inside of them screamed that you are the one they cannot overlook. God says their reaction was not small, it was earth-shaking for them, it was a sudden realization that you carry something rare, something priceless, something more valuable than all the money in their possession. God says you need to open this truth quickly, because delay is dangerous. God says this opportunity is like a window and windows do not stay open forever. The angels have been sent to prepare your spirit for what is about to unfold, but your willingness to act, your willingness to trust, your willingness to believe is the hinge on which the entire miracle swings. God says this is not about greed, not about worldly wealth, but about destiny, about the way divine favor sometimes chooses to move through the most unexpected vessels. God says this millionaire, this person with power and influence, has been chosen as a vessel for your breakthrough, and they don't even understand why yet. They are restless, they are moved, they are wrestling with what they saw, because God planted your name, your image, your spirit in their path, and now they cannot let it go. Archangel Michael is speaking loudly now. He says you cannot afford to ignore this message, because the enemy of your soul has already seen what is happening in the spiritual realm. Michael says forces of darkness are trying to blind you, trying to convince you that this is a distraction, that this is nonsense, but Michael says this is not a joke. He is standing with his sword drawn, defending the path that is being opened for you, but he cries because you have ignored too many warnings before, you have dismissed too many signs, and heaven does not want you to miss this one. Michael says he is fighting even now, fighting so that you can step into what is waiting for you, but he cannot force you. You must choose. You must open. You must believe. God says the reason this is so urgent is because the enemy has placed traps to distract you at the very same moment heaven is sending this blessing. You may notice strange delays, sudden arguments, unexpected chaos around you, because those are not accidents. They are diversions sent to pull you away from the miracle at your door. God says if you let yourself be pulled, you will miss the window. But if you listen, if you stay still in your spirit and trust, you will see the shock unfold. God says the millionaire who took interest in you is not simply impressed, they are overwhelmed, they are humbled, they are confused because what they feel does not match what they planned. They had no intention of noticing you, yet they cannot escape what God placed in them. This is why they are shocked. Shocked because their heart is breaking open in a way it never did before, shocked because their spirit is whispering your name, shocked because heaven is using them without their permission to send blessing toward you. God says your role is simple: do not reject, do not ignore, do not dismiss this message. God says your spirit must align with faith now, because if you doubt, if you close yourself, if you walk away, the blessing may pass. God says you must understand that blessings often come dressed in strange clothes, they often come through unexpected faces, they often come through shocking turns. God says that is why you must open quickly, because delay is a thief. The miracle is waiting, but it is fragile like a flame, and it must be received. God says you have prayed for change, you have cried for help, you have asked for breakthrough, and now it stands at your door disguised as the interest of someone who seems out of reach, someone who seems beyond you, someone whose life you thought would never intersect with yours. But God says nothing is beyond His design. He can make kings bow, He can make the wealthy notice the forgotten, He can make the powerful turn toward the humble. God says this is His way of showing you that when He moves, no one can resist. God says this is not by accident, this is not a coincidence, this is not something you can brush aside like a passing thought, because it is urgent, it is divine, it is the very reason why your heart felt uneasy until this moment, and why your spirit knew you needed to open this right now. God is trying to reach you because you have been running, you have been ignoring the gentle nudges, the signs, the whispers in the silence, and now it has become an emergency. A millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you, and what shocks them is not your appearance, not the surface, but the unseen light that surrounds you, the divine glow God placed within you, and they are compelled by forces greater than themselves to look at you, to search for you, to find what God has hidden in your life. This is why the heavens moved in such an unusual way. This is why Archangel Michael stood close and said to you in spirit that you must not skip this, that you must not ignore it, that this is a revelation that will change everything if you only listen, if you only stay still long enough to hear it. For so long, you thought that people overlooked you, that people underestimated you, that people did not see your worth, but God says those days are ending because now someone who has wealth, power, influence, and resources is suddenly seeing what others refuse to see. They are shocked because when they opened the door into your life, they were not prepared for the magnitude of the favor resting on you, they were not ready for the prophetic weight of your destiny, they were not ready for the truth that you carry something priceless, something no amount of money could buy, and yet it is exactly what their soul is longing for. They have everything the world admires, but without your presence, without your light, without your destiny connected to theirs, their life feels empty, incomplete, unfinished, and that is why they are trembling, why they are watching you, why they cannot look away. God says this moment has been written in heaven long before you were born. You were positioned for this connection, but your doubts, your fears, and your tendency to dismiss the inner voice of heaven has delayed what was already yours. This is why God is pressing so hard now, why the Spirit says it is urgent, why Archangel Michael is standing guard around you, making sure nothing and no one can snatch this blessing from your hands if only you will open, if only you will receive, if only you will trust. The millionaire is not coming to you out of curiosity. They are coming because God put your name in their thoughts, God highlighted your image in their spirit, God whispered your essence into their dreams, and now they cannot shake it. They are shocked because they were not seeking you, but heaven directed their eyes toward you, and they know deep down that you are a missing key to their story. You must not ignore this, because the enemy would love for you to remain distracted, to stay in the noise of the world, to scroll past what heaven has ordained for you, to skip the very message that is meant to lift you into the new chapter of abundance. This is why your heart raced as you began to read, this is why your breath shifted, this is why your spirit whispered, this is it, even before you could logically understand why. The millionaire has taken interest, yes, but it is more than that. God is saying their interest is not about money alone, it is about divine positioning, about restoration, about recompense, about the fact that you suffered too long, lost too much, cried too many nights, and heaven has decided that your reward will come through the hands of someone the world already recognizes as great. They will look at you and be humbled, because what you carry cannot be purchased, cannot be faked, cannot be imitated, it is heaven's seal upon you. Do you realize how many times you were protected without knowing? Do you realize that there were meetings in secret where people mentioned your name with jealousy, where plots were devised against you, but none of them succeeded because Archangel Michael blocked them? And now, at the very moment when you felt the weakest, heaven arranged for the strongest earthly hand to reach toward you, to lift you, to remind you that God's promises never fail. The millionaire is shocked because what they see in you contradicts what they expected. They thought they would find weakness, but instead they found resilience. They thought they would find despair, but instead they found hope. They thought they would find someone ordinary, but instead they found a soul touched by the eternal. God says open this quickly because the timing matters. There are blessings that expire if not received. There are windows that close if not entered. The urgency is not to scare you but to awaken you, to shake you from spiritual slumber, to remind you that hesitation can cause delay, and delay can cause loss. God does not want you to lose what heaven has been building for you, the connections, the opportunities, the divine alignments that are now converging into this single moment where your life will change dramatically. The millionaire is a vessel, but the source is God. Do not fix your eyes on the person, fix. God is reaching out to you now. and this is for you and you alone. Hear this as if a gentle hand is resting on your shoulder and a warm light is filling the space around your heart. God says, I have been calling you for longer than you think. I have been sending small nudges, quiet signs, and gentle mornings that felt like a soft invitation to wake up. You may have missed some of those nudges because your mind is heavy, because worry has crowded your days, because you hoped things would fix themselves. But I am persistent, and my persistence is not punishment, it is love. I am patient, but there is urgency now, because a window has opened that will change the course of your life if you open it with belief and faith. Do not be afraid. The phrase that appears in your heart right now, read it like a promise. A millionaire has taken a sudden interest in you. That interest is not about your money or your accomplishments alone, it is about the truth of you, the purity of your desire, the unique spark I placed inside you when I breathed life into your soul. This sudden attention may come dressed in many forms: an unexpected message, a meeting arranged through someone you barely know, a job opportunity that arrives like a miracle, or a quiet person who suddenly sees you and cannot look away. When it comes, do not shrink. Do not hide behind doubt. Receive it as a gift, but also as a test. Will you trust that good things can come to you without strings attached? Will you accept abundance without shrinking back into old fears of not being worthy? God sees the fatigue in you. He sees the nights when you prayed in whispers and the mornings when you forced a smile. He hears every small confession you never spoke aloud, every minute you hoped for rescue and every time you blamed yourself for things that were not yours to carry. He says, rest. Rest is not surrender. Rest is recalibration. Allow yourself to breathe in the certainty that you are watched over, that every step you take is known to me, and that the steps that feel most unsure are often the ones that carry you to the place you were always meant to stand. This message is urgent because the time to choose is narrowing. Opportunities arrive and pass like birds, some return, some fly away. When chance arrives with a knock, God says, open the door. Not every door will be a door to your highest good, but the doors that come in answer to prayer and to a heart willing to be vulnerable are doors to transformation. You may be tempted to test every motive with suspicion. That is human and understandable. But God asks you to balance caution with hope. Let discernment be your companion, not your jailer. Ask for wisdom, and wisdom will be given. Ask for protection, and protection will be around you. But do not refuse the hand that reaches for you because you are afraid of repeating past mistakes. God says, you are not alone. In the quiet spaces, in the pauses between your breath and your next thought, there are forces of light aligned with your destiny. Angels walk with you. Divine messengers have been placed on your path, sometimes disguised as ordinary people who carry extraordinary intentions. Recognize them not only in grand gestures but in small kindnesses: the stranger who paid attention when you needed to be seen, the friend who insisted you come along to that event, the voice that sent you a link at the exact moment you were praying. These are threads woven by God to form a net that will catch you when you leap. There is a gentle call to prayer in this moment, not the kind that demands ritual, but the kind that asks for honest conversation. Talk to God like you would talk to someone who loves you unconditionally. Say what is true, your fears, your hopes, your embarrassments, your hunger for more. Tell God about the places where you feel broken or ashamed. God will not hold these things against you. He will meet them with compassion and with practical guidance. Pray for clarity, and watch how clarity begins to line up the next steps. Pray for courage, and notice how your feet find the strength to stand on new ground. God also says, prepare. Even miracles often arrive on the other side of preparation. It is not that the power of God is limited by human effort, but that the divine often prefers partnership with human willingness. Use this time to polish what needs polishing: your confidence, your resume if work is involved, your willingness to be seen in conversations that feel delicate, your habit of accepting compliments. Let go of the small things that take energy from you, old grudges, habits that dim your light, stories you repeat about not being enough. Replace them with small disciplines that feed your soul: a short daily time of gratitude, a moment of silence each morning to set your intention, a commitment to say yes when your spirit nudges you forward. These acts of preparation make your inner world ready to receive what is coming. If fear rises, and it will, because fear often comes before growth, speak to it with the words God whispers now: I am with you, you are chosen for blessing, do not be afraid to receive. Fear will try to remind you of past disappointments, the times you were overlooked or hurt. Those memories are not here to define your future. God says they are the training ground that taught you endurance, not the sentence that keeps you small. When fear speaks, answer with a quiet statement of faith: I am worthy. I am ready. I will move when God calls. God is also asking you to practice generosity now, in spirit and in action. Generosity does not mean giving away everything you have, it means loosening the grip of scarcity. Even a small offering of kindness, a few minutes of time given to someone in need, or a sincere compliment allowed to leave your lips can shift the flow of blessing. When you give from an open heart, you align with a principle that attracts the same: abundance. Remember that millionaire or benefactor who is taking interest in you. People who are themselves guided by God will respond to authenticity and to hearts that are generous even when their own cupboards are not overflowing. Let your generosity be a reflection of the grace you have received. God warns gently: watch the voices you listen to. In seasons of sudden attention, many will offer advice, and not all advice will come from love. Some will see opportunity and try to steer you for their gain. Some will speak from fear or envy. Weigh counsel carefully. Ask God to bring to you those voices that are wise, kind, and aligned with your highest good. A mentor who has walked a similar path can be a lamp. A critic who sows doubt without care is merely noise. Listen also to your body. Big changes can be exhausting. Rest when your body calls for it. Eat foods that nourish you. Sleep enough to let your nervous system recover. When the world accelerates around you, your body is the sacred temple that carries you through. Tend to it with tenderness. God is moving in practical ways for you. Expect doors to open, but also expect to play a role in opening them. If an opportunity arrives by message or by meeting, reply kindly and promptly. Being slow to act can cause momentum to dissipate. This does not mean you must rush recklessly, rather, be decisive when your heart and reason agree. Prepare brief answers to common practical questions you might face. What do you want? What are your limits? What are your non-negotiables? Knowing these makes decision-making clearer when pressure rises. There is an element in this message that is about identity. God says, remember who you are. You are not defined by the labels others place on you, nor by the failures that once tripped you. You are a living expression of divine creativity, called to shine in ways only you can. Sometimes the most radical act of faith is to accept that you are beloved and that good things can, quite simply, happen to you. When this millionaire's interest turns into a real chance, a project, a partnership, an invitation, don't construct a story that you are unworthy. Instead, say, thank you. I will steward this well. I will use what comes my way for good. Trust is essential in stewarding divine opportunities. Trust that God will protect your heart as He guides your steps. Trust that discernment will be available to you in moments that require it. Trust that even if outcomes look different from what you imagined, God's intention for you is always toward growth, toward the expansion of your capacity for love, and toward peace. If the path seems confusing, ask for a sign, not for manipulation or certainty, but for confirmation. God responds to sincere requests. The answer may arrive as a feeling of peace in your chest, a clear word from someone you respect, or a series of doors that open and point you forward. God also calls you to mercy. If this sudden interest dredges up old relationships or unresolved wounds, choose mercy over retaliation. Mercy does not mean staying in a harmful situation, it means releasing the desire to make someone pay for past hurts. When you bless those who hurt you, not to excuse bad behavior but to free your heart, you create space for new, healthy relationships to arrive. If someone from your past reappears in this season, evaluate with clarity, but do so from a place of calm, not of reactive pain. Practical prayer helps. Pray specifically, Lord, give me clarity about this person and this opportunity. Help me see motives clearly. Protect me from being used. Guide me to say yes where you want me to say yes and no where you want me to say no. Lord, give me discernment about what to accept and what to decline. Cover me in peace as decisions are made. When you pray this way, pay attention to the impressions that come. A quiet sense of peace is often God's approval. Unease is often a signal to pause. God is deeply invested in your joy. This is not a superficial happiness but a deep-rooted joy that persists even when circumstances shift. Joy is a signal that you are aligned with your true purpose. The millionaire who takes interest in you could be an instrument in expanding your platform, in enabling your gifts to touch more lives, in opening resources for causes you care about, or in giving you the financial room to breathe. Whatever form it takes, keep your heart anchored in gratitude. Gratitude turns provision into celebration. This is also a season for testimony. After you move through this chapter with faith, there will be stories you can tell, not to boast, but to inspire others who feel unseen. Your testimony will become a light for someone else who is waiting to be discovered. As you accept blessing, consider how it can be used to bless others. When you share favor, you multiply its power. Remember, miracles are not always loud. Sometimes they are quiet rearrangements of your life that slowly reveal themselves as miraculous. Do not demand a thunderclap. Expect the subtle, faithful ways God organizes circumstances around you. When you see small doors opening one after another, when conversations go in a direction that aligns with prayer, when your intuition is repeatedly confirmed, that is the sound of God working. Finally, know that this message is an invitation to partnership. God is not asking you to perform miracles alone. He asks you to show up with an open heart, clear eyes, and willing hands. Walk forward with courage. Keep your feet grounded in prayer. Stay tender in your relationships and strong in your boundaries. Receive with humility and give with gratitude. Let your life become a canvas for divine generosity. Take a breath now. Place your hand over your heart and say quietly, I accept. I trust. I am ready. God hears you, and heaven leans in. The one who sees the sparrow will not overlook your moments. Open the door. Step into the light that is waiting. God will be with you, rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you when you walk with Him. You are safe. You are chosen. You are loved beyond measure. Go forward in that truth, and watch how the days ahead begin to rearrange themselves in holy alignment for your good. Listen carefully, God is speaking to you right now, and this message is carved from urgency and love. The tone is urgent because your heart has been distracted, because you have been drifting through noise and small comforts while something enormous and unexpected leans in and calls your name. Don't treat this like a distant whisper. This is an urgent knock on the inside of your life. Stop scrolling the surface. Breathe. Open your hands. Read this as if everything you are has been waiting to hear it. First, understand the nature of the call. This is not guilt. It is not fear. It is a direct reach from the place that holds you when everything else lets go. God is trying to get your attention because you have been ignoring a steady, quiet guidance that wants to lead you into clearer light. The universe, but more intimately, the God who knows the count of your nights and the weight of your small disappointments, is shifting something in your favor. It is urgent because the shift is active, doors are moving, people are aligning, and a presence that will change the weather of your life has taken notice. A millionaire, a person with resources and influence, has been stirred in a way you did not expect. They have been shocked, not by vanity, but by something pure in you that shines without trying, a look, an action, a prayer, a kindness, a faith someone witnessed. They are reacting because a divine nudge bridged your life to theirs. This is a spiritual invitation disguised as a worldly surprise. Do not let the worldly detail distract you from the spiritual root. The money, the attention, the sudden contact, they are symptoms of a deeper movement, God opening a corridor so you can step into a new season. Your part is simple and profound. Open your heart, open your mind, open your hands to receive and to steward whatever comes with holy humility. Guard against panic, pride, and haste. Receive with gratitude and move with wise restraint. God will be with you. Rest in that promise. Nothing will go wrong that God cannot turn around for good. You might be thinking, how do I know this is for me? How do I move without losing myself? Start with prayer that is honest and short. Tell God exactly where you are, your fear, your hope, your suspicion, the small cynic hiding in your chest. Silence the outer world for 5 minutes every morning and night and listen. Not with anxious searching, but with steady expectancy. Say aloud, God, I'm listening. I will not harden my heart. Lead me. Let these words be the key that opens your day. When you pray, expect an answer that looks different from your expectation. Sometimes the answer is a gentle nudge, sometimes it is a person crossing your path, sometimes it is an intuition that will not let you rest until you act. Be willing to obey what you sense. Obedience attracts favor faster than force. Practical steps matter. If a well-resourced person contacts you, be prudent. Protect yourself spiritually and practically. Ask for time to consider offers. Involve a trusted friend, mentor, or advisor who shares your values. Financial blessings are blessings when they are handled with wisdom and generosity. They can be tests when they feed pride or fear. Make clear boundaries for yourself. Do not rush into agreements based only on flattery or pressure. Let your discernment be anchored in prayer. Ask God for wisdom. The Scripture says to ask and it will be given. Wisdom will not always shout, sometimes it whispers, hold, wait, ask questions, read the fine print. Ask for clarity about motives, the long-term vision, and how what is offered aligns with the good that lives in your heart. There is also an inner work to do. This emergency is partly a mirror. Why have you been deaf to small nudges before? What parts of your life have been coasting while the important things went unattended? Use this moment to tidy the inner house. Forgive where you have held grudges. Ask for forgiveness where you have hurt others. Clean up spiritual clutter by letting go of bitterness, shame, and regret. These dark, small things block blessings and plug you into a fear frequency. When you clear them, your channels open. Practice gratitude every night. List 3 things you saw as gifts that day. Gratitude aligns you with providence and makes room for the next blessing. If fear rises, remember this: fear is the enemy's attempt to buy your silence. Fear will whisper that you are unworthy, that you will mess this up, that everyone will see your flaws. Answer fear with simple truths: you are loved, you are chosen, you are not alone. Say them until they feel less foreign. Surround yourself with people who speak truth. Avoid solitary doom scrolling. Share the load of decisions with someone wise. God often moves in tandem with human counsel, an advisor, a friend, a mentor who prays with you and for you. Your character will be the thing people notice most when sudden success appears. Wealth and attention can transform the surface of life quickly, but they do not change the core. Guard your humility. Keep listening. Let the attention accelerate your compassion, not your comfort. The test of a true provision is how it refines your heart. Will it make you more generous? More patient? More faithful? Ask God to shape you alongside blessing. Pray, use this to make me kinder, braver, and more awake to others' needs. There will be practical temptations, secrecy, shortcuts, the flattering promise of quick power. Do not isolate yourself with secret deals. Transparency protects you from deception. If offers are secretive or require silence as the cost, be cautious. God's favor does not demand you to betray your integrity. If anything asks you to choose between conscience and convenience, choose conscience. The long road of integrity is slower but steadier. It preserves your peace and your witness. Let me give you a short breathing prayer to use when panic or pressure arrives. Breathe in slowly while saying, "Lord, I trust." Hold for a beat. Breathe out while saying, "Lead me." Repeat 3 times. This small ritual will center your spirit. It reminds you that decisions are not made from frantic scarcity but from steady trust. There are signs to watch